For a long time, there was a terrifying belief in medicine. We were told that the human brain was like a bank account with a fixed deposit. You were born with a certain number of brain cells, and from the moment you reached adulthood, that number only went down. Every glass of alcohol, every head injury, every stressful day was just another withdrawal from an account that could never be replenished. We believed that once a brain cell died, it was gone forever. Today I have good news. That belief is dead. Welcome back to part 2 of our Neuroscience Basics series. In our last sessions, we talked about how the brain rewires itself, neuroplasticity, and the chemicals that drive our moods, neurotransmitters. But today we are going deeper. We are asking, can we actually grow new brain cells? And if so, what is the secret ingredient that makes that growth possible? The answer lies in a protein with a complicated name, but a simple function. It is called BDNF, or Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor. But you can just think of it as Miracle-Gro for your brain. Let's break down that name. Brain-derived simply means it comes from the brain. Neurotrophic comes from ancient Greek, neuro meaning nerve, and troph meaning nourishment or food. So quite literally, BDNF is brain food. It is the fertilizer that keeps your brain's garden lush and alive. To understand why this is so important, imagine your brain as a vast network of electrical cables. We know that learning happens when we connect these cables together. BDNF plays a critical role here. First, it acts like a guardian. It protects your existing neurons from dying under stress. It coats them, strengthens them, and ensures they survive the daily wear and tear of life. But its second function is even more magical. BDNF stimulates neurogenesis, the birth of new neurons. Specifically, it is most active in a region called the hippocampus. You might have heard of the hippocampus. It is the command center for learning and long-term memory. It is also sadly the first area to shrink in diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. When you have high levels of BDNF, your hippocampus flourishes. You learn faster. You remember more. Your mood regulates itself better. You feel mentally sharp, like the fog has lifted. But when BDNF levels drop, we see the opposite. We see brain fog, difficulty learning new skills, and a higher risk of depression and neurodegenerative diseases. So the million-dollar question is, how do we get more of it? Is there a pill? Is there a supplement? The pharmaceutical industry has spent billions trying to put BDNF into a pill. But there is a problem. BDNF is a large protein, and if you swallow it, it cannot cross the blood-brain barrier. It simply gets digested like any other protein. You cannot eat BDNF directly. You have to trigger your body to make it. And the most potent trigger for BDNF production is something you might not expect. It isn't Sudoku and it isn't classical music. It is movement. Evolution gives us a clue why. Think back to our ancestors. When did they need their brains to be the sharpest? It was when they were hunting or foraging. It was when they were moving across complex terrain, looking for food or escaping predators. In those moments, the body signaled the brain. We are moving. We need to be alert. We need to remember this path. Modern science confirms this link. When you engage in aerobic exercise, when your heart rate goes up and you break a sweat, your muscles release proteins that travel to the brain and unlock the floodgates of BDNF. Studies have shown that even a single session of exercise can spike BDNF levels. But consistent exercise effectively bathes your brain in this fertilizer every day. This is why, after a good run or a gym session, you often feel a sense of clarity. That isn't just endorphins. That is your brain entering a state of growth. You are literally building a better brain with every step you take. But exercise isn't the only way. We are also learning that intermittent stress on the body, like intermittent fasting or heat exposure like a sauna, can also boost BDNF. It seems that when the body perceives a mild survival challenge, it sharpens the brain to help us overcome it. However, there's one more critical piece to this puzzle. We have talked about the fertilizer, BDNF. But a garden needs more than just fertilizer. It needs good soil. It needs raw materials. Where do those raw materials come from? They come from what we eat. This leads us to a fascinating connection that science is just beginning to map out. Your brain is not isolated in a tower. It is physically connected to your stomach. The food you eat doesn't just fuel your muscles. It directly impacts your mood, your clarity, and even your decision-making. In our next episode, we are going to explore this hidden highway. We will move to part 2. Topic 14. The gut-brain axis. How food affects mood. We will discover why your gut is often called your second brain and how your lunch might be dictating your emotions. For today, I want you to take one takeaway with you. Your brain is not a decaying asset. It is a garden that is waiting to grow. And you have the power to fertilize it simply by moving your body. So take a walk, go for a run, and let your brain bloom. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video.